Welcome to Okon Bros with a very special guest. Very special.
Kato.
Kato's in the building.
Carl
Kato
Carter.
Carl Carter, the infamous.
Our Senior Vice President of Network Operations.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
The Renaissance man.
Carl has had a lot of positions in this company.
Yeah.
What was your favorite hat to wear?
You know what? I like being a rep.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your story, Carl? Start from day one.
All right. So when I first started,
No. Start when you were born.
Oh, okay.
I want your birthday
on February 23rd at 4:23 p.m. A star was born,
and it wasn't Bradley Cooper. It was Carl Carter.
Yes. And though I can't sing like they can, but you know,
you can rap pretty well.
Nah,
you can bust lyrics.
No.
Tell the audience, and it's conversational, Carl. Like you could look at me, this camera. You could look at if you want to like say something to like a client that you hate.
I would never do that.
No, I know.
Everyone.
Or you could talk. You can make it free flowing. How did it start? Where were you before? Don't name the competition and don't badmouth anyone, and certainly don't name any clients. But what's your story, bro? Give us the history of Kato.
Let's be inspirational. Where did you start?
Okay.
What was your game plan? Like when you were given opportunity, what did you do?
Okay, so when I started off, a friend of mine, he said, "Hey, you know, after high school, why not? Do you want a job? I work for this company, and they're doing pretty well, and you know, all you have to do is go to the airport and hold a sign." So I said, "Okay, no problem."
Sounds pretty easy.
Yeah. So I get to this job, and I'm holding this sign, and you know, I'm doing it, and I'm meeting these celebrities, and I'm like, "This is pretty fun. Like, I like this." And
you can curse if you want, by the way.
Okay.
This is pretty fucking
Beep.
cool.
So you know, we're at the airport, and I love it because I'm with my friend, and
right.
and you know, and we're meeting these celebrities, and all of a sudden things didn't go right. I was a number at this company, and
this is a small New York company, or this is a global.
This is a pretty large company, and
they have offices all over.
Yeah, and you know, I was a number, you know, and I can't blame them. They didn't know me. They didn't know anything about me. They didn't know who I was. So,
right.
You know, things happen and let me go. And that same friend, he was also working here. And he said,
can mention his name. You give a shout out.
Shout out to Ricky Ramirez.
What's up, Ricky?
He actually was the one that brought me in, him and Lance.
Man,
I remember.
It's crazy.
He said, "Hey, you got to come to this party." And I said, "No, I don't like parties. I don't want to go to this party with you." He's like, "But Lance is going to be there, and this is his birthday. And if you go, maybe it might go over well." And I said, "Okay, fine." So I go to this party, and I meet this guy that was just like, I don't know, he was like a pimp. All these women were around him. I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Happy birthday." And he was like, "You know what? Thank you for coming out for my birthday." And that day changed because the following weeks, he had said, "Where's Carl at? I want him to come down. Right. I want him to be a part of BLS." And I said, "Okay." Ricky called me and he said, "You got to come in." So I came in, and when I got here, I said, "What are the perks there?" They said, "BLS gives you a free phone." And I said, "A phone? I get a phone?" I was sold. Like, I get a sign and a phone, and I get to meet clients. Oh, this is great. This is great. And you know, I'm very simple. Right. It doesn't take a lot to please me, and
you are very low maintenance,
and I just want to do the right thing. So I get to the airport, and I have this dispatcher, and shout out to Jeff. Jeff was one of the best dispatchers in the world. I remember him, you know, calling me up and he says, "Oh, well, you're new here. I need you to do this flight. The flight is American flight 42 in the class." I said, "Wait, can you say that again?" "Did you hear me the first day?" And I'm like, "Dude, relax. Like, is this how things are supposed to work?" Never experienced this before. Turns out he was very, very good at his job. He was punctual. He knew what to do, how to get you there, and he was always good with
very low on patience.
Very low on patience.
Jeff was very low on patience.
I'll give you a funny story, and then I'll fast forward. So one day, I was doing a flight. I met a client, escorted him to the car. Everything was great. You know, car pulls up right on time. I walk out right up to the curb. It just looks so amazing. I said, "You know what? I'm sure I have a flight within the next, 20 to 30 minutes. Let me go run to the restroom. So I run to the little boy's room, and, at that time we had Nextel phones, and I had the phone on speaker. I'm in the urinal, and there's a gentleman standing right next to me, and all you hear is bleep bleep. Carl, pick up. I'm like, bloop bloop. Carl, pick up. Okay, I'm almost done. Bloop bloop. Carl, pick up. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. God damn it. Pick up the. And the guy next to me is looking at me, and he's like, dude, answer your fucking penis. And I'm like, wait a second. And then I finish up, and I said, Jeff, I was in the bathroom. What's wrong with you? He goes, well, then use the other hand. I said, you can't make this up, man. But he knew what he was doing, and it was great. It was fun, and
So why aren't you a rep anymore, Carl? What happened? What was the spark that said, man, I don't want to do this every day of my life?
You know what? At that time I had a child, Kyle, and
big shout out to Kyle.
Yes, and he
the
came,
Avenger.
Yes,
Iron Man.
Yes. And he came in, and I felt like I wanted to do something more than just being just a rep.
So you were given the opportunity. Our previous manager that was running reservations, we had to part ways.
Yes.
So we were looking for a new manager in reservations, and your name popped up.
Yes.
And then you came in for a meeting.
Honestly, I don't even know how my name popped up. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I think it was Vinny. I think Vinny said that Carl wants an opportunity to make a name for himself in this company. That's what I remember when Vinny came through.
It's weird because for the longest time, I wondered who was the one that said that. And
it was Vinny. We were sitting in David's office. He said, I got this kid. His name is Carl. He wants to get elevated. He doesn't want to, just be a rep. And there's nothing wrong with being just a rep, but you want to make this a career. Yeah.
And when he did that, I came in. I loved it. But I was nervous.
You started in dispatch, right?
Well, I started in dispatch. I remember I was at the ESPY Awards, and I said to Vinny, hey, you know what? I would like to do a couple of days in-house and then a couple of days, out in the field, continuing to rep. And he was like, you know what? I got a good idea for you. Maybe you should come in and dispatch, but why don't you think about it? I said, okay, I'll think about it. 2 days later, I come back to him. I said, well, Vinny, I think I made my decision. He was like, all right, you're starting here. I said, whoa, buddy, I didn't see it was coming. What is wrong with you? I think that push, he was like, listen, you're going to do dispatch, and you're going to, hang out, be trained by the great Jeff and Anthony. Big shout out to Anthony.
Podcast King.
Podcast King, yes. And another brother from another mother. He's amazing. Yeah. So I'm in the dispatch office, and Anthony's teaching me. Jeff is teaching me. There's so many people around me that's teaching me. And I was working overnight dispatch, and it was fun. And I said, you know what? I like this. Started going to school. I'm in school for psychology. So now I'm psychology, learning these crazy dispatchers and drivers that are coming in, and Jeff's crazy, and he's yelling and screaming, and all of a sudden, next day I get a call from Vinny. He goes, you got to come in. I'm like, I'm home babysitting. I can't leave. I'm the only one here. He goes, you need to come in right now, and I don't care if you bring the baby. And I said, okay, no problem. He said, you're going to come in and you're going to meet Michael, Eric, and Kevin. And I said, okay, no problem. So I come in, I meet you gentlemen, and I said to myself,
you brought in Kyle?
No, I found a babysitter. Good. I found a babysitter. I said, I'm not going to bring him to the office.
I remember when you did bring him to the office. You were carrying him in his arm, and then you showed me a picture of him recently, and he's like the quarterback on the. Is he a cornerback or quarterback?
No, he's actually a lineman.
Jesus, man.
He's on the line, and
he literally brought Kyle in his arms. Kyle's a year older than Alex, so our boys grew up together.
Yeah,
in the same generation.
Yeah.
Speaking, you know what? That segues into my question to you. You ushered in the young BLS. You know that young Hollywood persona that there's young Hollywood.
That's right.
People don't last in that. They either get to that next level of career, but you ushered in this young vibrancy into this company. What was that your goal to do that?
From the previous, when I was at the other company, I didn't like the fact that some companies were letting people go because of they were just a number. There was no name. There was no personality. There was nothing. You come into an office and everyone is just typing on the computer and there's no personality. And when I came in, I remember being inside the office and I saw some great people, but they seemed like they were just kind of tight and they weren't loose and it just didn't flow. And I said, you know what, maybe I can change this. Maybe I can, do something about this. And when I was given the opportunity, I looked at it as, it's funny to say Hollywood, I looked at it and I say it all the time. It was the Rocky Balboa challenge.
Yeah.
I was given an opportunity to fight this great fight. And that fight was becoming the supervisor that I've never had experience doing. I've never.
So what did you do to learn how to become a supervisor?
Hard work. I went home. I was at Barnes and Noble. I mean,
you studied.
I studied. I was.
That's amazing.
Reading. I was looking at interviews on YouTube. I was doing so much stuff because I knew that if I worked hard enough, I can be the best manager, the best leader I could be. And
you clearly you did that in spades.
Because it's one thing to be to be a senior person in a company, but it's another thing to lead and inspire.
Right, and you clearly are that leader.
Thank you.
That started in reservations, then it went to USA Dispatch, and now you're leading the network operations. I mean, I want to talk about ATL because that's Carl's brainchild.
Yeah,
that's his baby.
Carl lobbied.
Before we jump to that, what books inspired you? What podcasts? What YouTube
was it?
Videos?
Literally like Management for Dummies, or what inspired you?
Yeah, it was Management for Dummies.
Yeah,
was it really?
Yeah, but you cannot discount those.
It's an overview of a subject and it breaks it down for dummies. I can't tell. I did car work for dummies once when Dad's like, you got to work on spark plugs, and I picked up car maintenance for dummies, and I still have it on my shelf.
I read these books and I got books after books and there's stacks and I just remember everyone saying, why are you reading so much? Like, don't you want to go out and have fun? I said, no, I need to learn this because I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than I could ever imagine. My mom was very supportive. My stepfather, everyone in my life, they were very supportive because they knew I had a job to do. I didn't know what it was. I wanted to always be in an office and just
make a difference
and be a part of business. I just didn't know where. When I came in, I said, I'm going to do it here. And I wanted to change lives. And not only did I want to, inspire people, I wanted them to challenge themselves to be better. And as they came in, if they said they couldn't do, I said, you take that out of your vocabulary. You can do this because I did it. And, we bleed the same blood. There's nothing different of anyone and any of us, just like, my other father, David, I sat in with him all the time and he told me, I had nothing and I made nothing into something and you can too. And I remember talking to him all the time, but just to go back to your question, podcasts, things that I would look up, books that I would read. I remember reading a book. The first one was Tyrese's Getting Out of Your Own Way.
Amazing.
Issues with yourself. It's not about, everyone else stopping you. It's you stopping yourself from growing and from changing and from evolving into something, so beautiful that the world just sees your light. And then I read this was another one of my favorite books, and I'm not boasting or anything else like that, but Just Ask the Universe.
Come on, man.
I am not. Don't plug. No. I'm serious. I'm serious. That was another.
I remember giving you that book,
and I remember.
Oh, actually, did you steal it? You took it, right? You just. You're like, by the way, I took Just Ask the Universe. I'm like, you can take whatever you want, Carl.
Yeah, I had gotten into some trouble, and I remember.
Well, there was learning pains.
Our dad was upset with us because he wanted a lot from me, and I kind of messed up at the time, and I remember being down, and I came to Big Bro, and you were like, dude, just don't worry, it's gonna be okay, and I was like, all right, no problem, and you said, just read this book.
I did give it to you, yeah,
and I read the book, and I think at that moment after I read the book, I said, you know what? I'm going to change even more. I wanted more for this.
Thank you.
I want you to tell the story about how when you were repping, and you know exactly what I'm saying. Tell the story of how you were repping, and you would ask the clients when they would get off the plane.
Yeah,
and how that inspired you, and then all of a sudden that led you to what you're currently doing, which we'll get into.
That's the ultimate universe.
This is what the point of this podcast is, that you are what you think.
Yeah,
your future is how you imagined. So
your word is your wand, Carl.
Yes.
And wave
So
that wand.
Tell that
story.
It's beyond. Now, working in the airport, there's people all over the world. JFK, John F. Kennedy International is a humongous airport with faces, personalities, people from all over the world. And you see that as a young kid coming from, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, but then I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, in Marcy Projects. And there's certain things you don't get a chance to see. And being in the airport and working in that system, you see the world, but you don't see the world. You see people coming from these different parts of the world. And I remember when the clients would come out, and I'm waiting by the gate with their name on the sign, and they would walk out, nice suit, briefcase. Some clients would come out, khakis, t-shirt, the luggage, hair frizzled, things like that, sunglasses. You knew they were Hollywood. When they would come off, my spiel was, hey, how are you? My name is Carl Carter. I'll be your rep for today. I'm going to escort you to your car. Do you have any luggage? No luggage. Okay, no problem. Well, I have your car outside. Your driver's going to be pulling up any moment. He said, oh, no problem. I said, how was your flight? It was uneventful. And I was like, wait a second, uneventful.
What does that mean?
Right. That's what I said. What the hell does that mean? Uneventful, but it sound cool. Like, when you watch those old Hollywood movies and the guy just puts a cigar in his mouth, and you don't know why he's doing it, but he's doing it. And it's like, that's cool. Well, that uneventful was that same cigar for me. It was just like, okay.
You wanted to be that person.
I wanted to be that person.
And when did you experience that? When you became that person?
That moment was impregnated in his subconscious mind right then and there.
He wanted to be that person who was that world traveler,
getting off the plane, being escorted to his car. I want to hear this. This is fascinating.
Fast forward years after, I'm in the office, and I get an opportunity to go out and meet the clients that I'm on the phone with and I'm talking to and things like that. And again, being this young kid, I have no experience with being on a plane. So I'm sitting. I get to the plane, and the stewardess comes around, and they're picking up these towels with these tongs,
right?
And they're handing. I'm like, I don't want that. What is that? And they're like, you wipe your hands. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot for me to learn. But in that journey, I learned, okay, I don't want to sit in the middle. I don't want to be crammed between anyone. I think I like the window seat because I would like to look outside, but maybe I like the aisle seat. And, all of these things that was happening on a plane, I was experiencing myself on the plane, traveling back and forth from New York to LA. As time progressed, I'm traveling from different cities. And then I'm realizing I'm connecting myself with the world. So those gentlemen, those women that I would meet off the plane, wondering where they were coming from and how that city is and what did they do in that city, how long were they in that city. I said, I'm doing it now. And it was
you
the
manifested your dream.
It was the greatest feeling ever when I realized, traveling from these different cities,
it was your dream, right?
It was my dream that I didn't even know.
How many times have you flown this year? It's 2019. It's October 2019. How many times have you flown this year?
Every other week.
I can't count, but I can tell you this: every time I'm at the airport and I scan my boarding pass, they're like, "Thank you, Mr. Carter, for flying with us again." I'm like, "Oh wait, Mr. Carter, that sounds pretty good."
Mr. Carter.
And that's what I feel is just so amazing that you are what you manifest.
100%.
And Carl wanted it, and he got it.
Yeah.
And like that story,
he didn't finish the story.
But that story is the whole point of this podcast.
100%.
It's the whole point. And from the minute we started this podcast, we always said we want to have Carl on to talk about this because he is the American dream. He's the BLS dream.
Yes.
That if you decide you want it, you can have it.
Right.
And that's just, it's awesome.
You got off the plane and there was a rep there for you. I think Travis put an alias for you, so you were being swarmed by the paparazzi. Yeah. Travis and William, big shout out to Travis and William.
Travis and William run our LA operation, and they always make a funny rep sign.
They'll put like P. Diddy.
Yeah.
They'll put Kim Kardashian from Maryland, and you see the paparazzi just swarming.
And then they see Marilyn and Carl come out of the plane.
No, I think it was little Kim and Chris Brown.
It was Puff Daddy and Little Kim, and I was Little Kim, and Marilyn was Puff Daddy. So these guys. It was one time I came off. I was traveling by myself, And I get off the plane and I'm like, okay, let me get downstairs to my driver and be on my way. I get downstairs and there's this sign that says 25 cents. I couldn't believe it because there was a crowd of people standing there like, who's this new 25 cent must be this new rapper, maybe it's 50 Cent's son or whatever it is, because he's 25 cent, he's not quite 50 but he's 25. And I came off and I said, you put that sign down, you put it down. And the driver starts laughing and everyone else like, oh, and they walk around like, oh, he's a nobody. And but as we're walking away, the driver says, hey, how was your flight? And I looked at him and I said, uneventful.
You did it. You did it.
And
you made it.
Yes.
That's exactly
yes.
right.
And
that's exactly right. You getting to that point in your life, it's positive proof that the universe will answer anything that you want. And
yes.
it didn't happen in a year.
Yeah.
It took years for it to happen.
Yeah.
What was your dream for BLS of Atlanta? Because
Carl
this is
lobbied. We were against opening up in Atlanta.
Dad was vehemently
against it. And we were on the fence about it.
Carl was the one that pushed us over the edge.
Carl lobbied for 2 years
Yep.
to open up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
You can mention the girl in LA who said you got to do it. It was Beverly.
Yes.
Right?
Beverly.
Big up to
shouts
Beverly.
to Beverly Fitzgerald. She and a lot of our
Don't mention the client, but
our friends
at this particular studio. Yeah.
They said, you got to do it. You got to say it. You got to put it out there even more, because I would see work going to and from LA or Boston or whatever it is, going to, Atlanta, but we didn't see the Atlanta work. And I was like, and it bothered me. It hurt me. And I feel like, one thing I did want to mention is when you're in a company and you believe in that company and you want to make a change and a difference, some people feel like you have to be an entrepreneur to succeed in life. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can be an intrapreneur, which
That's
basically
brilliant.
is
That's really good.
a person that comes in and wants to make ideas and changes for the company they believe in, the company they love, and build within. Because you know what? You use that platform and you can change the lives of other people and everyone else around you, including yourself.
Think about that. Your idea about Atlanta
Sparked
a whole office to be employed by
Yes.
drivers.
But not only that,
Office staff.
it sparked 5 other cities.
100%.
Because because of that formula that we figured out for Atlanta, we just replicated it and moved it over to other cities,
and it works.
and it works.
Right.
And that's all because of Carl Carter.
Well,
So what the lesson from that is, you have to lobby for what you think is right and don't stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't stop.
I'm glad you didn't, Carl.
You know what? I felt like I would have been a failure to Dad, to Mom. Big shout outs to Phyllis Okon.
Man, it's enough. She's on this podcast like every day. It's enough shouting out to Phyllis Okon.
No, but
She gave us everything. We'd be nothing
Yes.
without her.
Yes. She gave us the tools to keep it going.
She did.
And
so the old man, and we do consider you, we really do consider you a member of our family.
Thank you.
You are.
Thank
You're the middle child. Eric's definitely the baby.
Baby Huey.
You're my little brother. But you definitely keep Eric and I on the straight and narrow, and your opinion means everything to
Thank
us.
you. Thank
It really does. That when you said at first, Atlanta, man, we were dealing with Dad. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then, once the old man shuffled off his mortal coil, and you said, we got to figure this out. And then when we went to that, we had this huge party at BLS Spring Fling last year in 2018. It was like March 2018. We threw this big bash at the Universal Sheraton. We had all of our clients there. I got a tap on my shoulder, and it was Beverly. And Beverly's like, you best be opening up in Atlanta this year. She's like, you're missing out.
Yeah.
And you came in. We came up. The three of us devised a business plan, and
we figured it out.
We figured it out,
Yeah.
and it's been a blessing.
It's been awesome. But but not only that, it's moved Carl. Like Carl was always running our affiliate network. He was running reservations, and he never really got the opportunity to be a Vinny or a Travis running a fleet operation.
Right.
And now it gave him the opportunity to add that to his repertoire.
Yeah.
You just got back, right?
Yeah. I just got back from Atlanta.
So what happened? We outgrew our office,
we
right?
outgrew our office. We doubled our size in office.
It's amazing.
Yep.
And we're hiring more people down there.
It's amazing.
Which I think is probably one of the best parts about being an employer.
Yes.
Is that we can give people opportunity.
Yeah.
And they're so nice down there.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They are so nice.
Yeah.
And
It's a wonderful city.
and
It is.
we're we're 10 for 10 on hiring people, and that's all, anyone who knows who's an employer or who's a manager. It's very hard to be successful at employee retention.
But look at how the evolution of Atlanta happened. They didn't start out as reservation agents. They started out as people just accepting ground span reservations, right?
Right.
And then you up them to start taking calls,
and then also they deal with a lot with local Atlanta work, because so it's just a wonderful opportunity.
And that's your baby, Carl. Yeah. I mean, it really, like, we would not be in Atlanta today if you didn't lobby for it the way you did, and we're proud that you had the voice to do it. That you weren't
I'm going to ask another question. What's your game plan for the next 5 years?
Game plan is to continue to inspire, change lives while we can all do it.
BLS Miami,
BLS London,
Bienvenido Miami.
You're good. Listen, inspiring. You do that every day. You inspire Eric and me.
Thank you.
It's the truth, Carl. And you've reinvented yourself. No one in this company has reinvented themselves more than you have. You see us growing. Where do you see yourself? How are you going to reinvent yourself?
Or are you just so happy where you are? Have you not even thought about it yet?
You know what? I haven't thought about it yet.
You got to start thinking about it.
All I know is that things happen, and I just keep moving, and I just keep getting blessings because I'm around great people that care about me. And
like, if you're happy where you are, we're happy. But let me tell you something: don't stop dreaming.
No, I'm not.
Don't stop, because it'll benefit you. It's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit the company, and you're a powerful entity because you get it.
Yeah.
Constant and never-ending improvement. I live by that.
I don't care if it's that you want to start working out every day and eat zero carbs, but you should keep on keeping on.
Yeah. No.
Don't get complacent.
You're like a tsunami in this company. You really are.
Thank you. To be honest with you, with the support and everything from everyone, it's a blessing. Not too many people, and I'm very, very fortunate to say that I wake up in the morning and I say I can't wait to get to work. There's not too many people that feel that way, and I wish they didn't have to go through that. And I hope that people can watch and say, you know what, if you don't like something, change it. Be a voice for yourself. Change what you have. If you don't like the car you're driving, change it. If you don't like the house you have, change that house. You don't like the employment you're in, change it. You don't have to do it in a negative way. Do it in a positive way, because the more and more you put good energy out to the universe, you'll get that back.
Man, that's gold, Carl.
And
awesome.
That's what's happening.
And before we sign off, are you signing off?
No, not yet.
I have one important question for Carl.
Yeah, you can ask that. But what I also wanted to say is, back when Carl started, he was kind of doing everything, and we didn't have as much management as we do. But Carl's in an effort to keep Carl escalating in what he's doing, it created a slew of other positions in the company.
Yes.
So you started out as, when you entered management, you started out as reservations manager.
Yes.
Then you
went to VP of reservations.
Then you went to VP of reservations. Then we put Odette in charge of. She was a reservations
manager.
Job.
Shout out to Odette Lorenzo. She stole my job.
And that we had some conversations about that. You were having major issues giving that up.
Yeah.
And then not only that, once Odette became VP of reservations, Carl became vice president of client services. Yeah. Then Jenny Espinel, she became call center manager. And Jenny. Then Lauren Caprioli, she became GDS manager. Cassandra Masson, right now she's director of VIP services.
Carl was 5 positions.
That's what I was about to say. Carl was all of those positions.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we separated it out because he created
those departments,
those positions. He created those. That's his spawn.
Yes.
To get those things working. And now Carl is senior VP of network operations. And network operations.
So what is that?
Network operations is basically all non-owned cities plus satellite offices.
Right.
So New York, LA, Las Vegas, those are our hub cities.
Right.
Carl manages all other operations outside of those cities.
Right.
And that is Carl's title. So that's the affiliates, that's Atlanta, DC, all of those satellite markets where we're currently open in. And those satellite markets, the more they grow, they could become a hub.
Yeah.
and then that will. Spawn,
I think Atlanta's going to become a hub before you know it,
and that will spawn off a general manager in that city,
right?
And then,
you want to be GM of Atlanta one day, or you don't want to be relegated to one city?
Nah, I thought about it. You know, as much as I love the South, I feel like there's a bigger picture. You know,
exactly
that I have to be a part of, and that I need to be a part of. It's not have to, it's need to. There is a calling for me here as well, and I feel like I'm very important to what we're all doing, including myself. You know,
so you're looking at the bigger picture, not just one particular city.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I feel like we have to get to the really important stuff. And
right.
Michael and I are having a big disagreement about this because I just watched it on the plane ride to
No.
LA.
I'm not even talking about that. I want to no. Carl is one of the busiest men I know. Carl put his life into this company. He did. And it rewarded him in spades. The company rewarded him in spades.
Yes.
That he created a position, and that, like you said brilliantly, Eric, it spawned off all these different sequels, right? Like they're the sequel to the original, right? Carl's the original Rocky.
The larger we got, it just spawned itself.
Yeah.
How in the hell did you have time to prestige 9 times on Call of Duty if you were that busy? When we were to dinner at the Palm with this wonderful travel office in New York, and Eric and I were like, yeah, we prestiged 4 times. You know, I think you're on your 3rd time or something. I'm on 5th. And this was like a few months ago, and Carl's like, bro, I'm on 9 times prestige. When did you have the time to prestige on Call of Duty Black Ops 4?
To be honest with you, and I'm a little embarrassed.
Do you not sleep, bro?
Yeah. That's what was happening. I wasn't sleeping, and
but Call of Duty will do that to you.
Call of Duty, but it's so good.
You know what? I think it does something to the brain that you're like, hey, I got to get into this, and
do you think about work when you play Call of Duty?
No,
that's exactly right. It's a meditation that it takes you away from
Mm-hmm.
where you are. It keeps you in the present moment of trying to kill these fucking people.
Yeah. And dead
these video game people,
and dead they will be.
I just want to say how proud we are of you, and we are so grateful that you are our brother.
Thank you.
You are our mentor.
Thank you.
You give Eric and me reason to come here every day and give it our all, because we see how hard you work.
You know, but not only that, it's you inspire us to inspire other people because it worked.
Yes.
And it inspires us to keep giving other people opportunities to expand and to grow.
Yeah. And your input is so valuable here, Carl. I don't think you realize. When you have an opinion, like, everyone stops what they're doing to listen to what you have to say. And I think that, you know, and it's not a biased opinion. This is your experience. This is where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. And we're really proud of you, man. We're really proud of how far you came.
Thank you.
And I can't believe you prestige 9 fucking times. Did you play beta yet? Modern Warfare beta?
No.
It's not worth it.
It's not that good. Beta, don't even waste your time with beta.
You have 23 days until Modern Warfare comes out. And then all of our platforms will meet each other. So we'll have a BLS clan.
To be honest with you, I decided that I was going to possibly give up video games altogether.
Shut the front door, Carl. Don't do that.
No, I'm going to tell you why.
Let's erase this podcast. He's not a brother.
No, let me tell you why.
Baloney.
Let me tell you why, though.
Let's hear it.
Understand.
Go ahead.
So, Kyle, he told me that he's going to get bigger than me. He's going to get stronger than me. And if I don't stay in shape and I don't do the right thing, he's going to pretty much take me to town. So I said, okay, no problem.
I have an easy strategy for you with that.
What's up?
10 minutes a day.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Okay.
10 minutes
Carl,
a day.
my dad taught me this, and I'm going to expound upon what you just said. There are 24 hours in a day, and you spend 8 of them sleeping. And the phone doesn't stop. I mean, you guys know, like, you'll call me at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Bro, we got this issue in ATL. What do we do? Blah, blah, blah. I wake up earlier now to get ripped. And that's my goal. I wake up every morning,
but not
and
only
Johnny Acosta was the one who was inspirational on that. Big shout out to Johnny to say, man, those are the arms that I want.
Yeah. Johnny, he stayed with it, and it's hard work and determination. And
that's exactly right. Yeah. And if you could do hard work and determination in the company, you have to have that hard work and determination on your own body.
But I think it's a fallacy to say that you have to commit an hour a day to it.
I agree with you.
I think you can
20 minutes a day.
I think you can get just as much done in 10 or 15 or 20 minutes.
Yep.
And that's no time at all.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's more so mindset and diet than anything else. And 100%. Once you have that, you have everything. The mind is the biggest muscle in the body, and that's what I wanted to work on first.
If you are disciplined to outwork anyone, and you were one of the people in this company to outwork anyone, you were the first one to show up. You were the last one to leave for years. For years,
you grinded that out.
You grinded that out. If you can do that for your career, but you're not doing it for your home, for your
health.
life, for your health, that's work-life balance. And if you don't have that balanced, you're going to fail in your health.
Yeah.
Mikey, we have that conference call at 10 o'clock that we got to jump to.
Big conference call.
Carl Carter, thank you for joining us.
Before we jump, Cato, bro.
Cato, bro.
How did that come about? Real quick.
We're going to keep that as a secret.
Hey, you know what? I don't want anyone knowing that.
We're going to keep that. Our nickname for the three of us is Cato.
It's Cato.
C-A-T-O.
C-A-T-O.
But I
have to let
I think we keep that.
I just
between
text
us.
Carl. I'm like, Carl, what's going on? Is everything cool? And he's like, Cato, bro.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
And like, I was like, yes, you are Cato, bro. And he goes, oh my God, I don't even know why my phone typed that.
Hashtag Cato.
That's right.
Hashtag
But
Cato.
listen, we got to go. Peace out,
Subscribe.
guys.
Oh, we have to start saying subscribe, right?
Yeah, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
To our podcast.
Yes.
And if you have any questions or comments,
Email Carl.
email Carl. He's the man with the master plan. Copy Eric and me on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. That
Thanks,
was fun.
guys. Thank you, Carl.
All right.
Bye bye.
Thanks.